Welcome back to the West Ham Network channel. My name is Harry and in today's video I'll be bringing you a new series called 5 Things We've Learned. Each game I'm going to be looking at 5 things we learned over the course of that game. It's roughly going to last around 5 minutes, a minute on each topic. So let's get into it. Of course this game was for Chelsea on Saturday. So the first thing we're going to look at is Moyes' new system. Now Moyes has been using a back 5 quite regularly recently against Spurs as well. A lot of fans seem to think that it's a back 4, but if you look out of possession and sometimes even in possession, you can see Pablo Fornals is really deeper than Bowen. So obviously Pablo Fornals usually is a left midfielder and Bowen's on the right. But you can see these last few games that Bowen has obviously been pushed up a lot higher and Fornals has been a lot deeper. If you go onto sites like SofaScore, you can look at average positioning and you can quite evidently see there's a back 5. And personally I think it works. Obviously another position Fornals can fill in, and of course it really helps us a bit more defensively and it helps cover Cresswell. I know Cresswell wasn't playing, of course, against Chelsea, but I think Emerson worked well in the system as well. So it's always a positive to have, and defensively, I think we look good. I know we did concede another couple, but to be honest, they're just silly mistakes. I don't think it's down to the system why we're conceding. I know it is a back 5, as I do say, but when we are in possession, it does go into a back 4. Of course, Pablo Fornals pushes up, pushes inside a little bit to cover the midfield, fall that midfield free. And obviously Cresswell or Emerson will push on a little bit forward and get crosses into the box. Personally, I think it works very well, and I think I've called for 5 at the back since the start of the season, as I believe we do have the players now to do this, so that's the way to move forward. The second thing on my list is, of course, the VAR controversy. Now, I was screaming at the telly the whole match. I don't know what happened. I don't know what is going on in this country with VAR. It's not VAR, it's quite evidently the officials who are using VAR. They're just not fit to referee a game or even look over the game on VAR. It was literally there was an outcry of people going, what is going on? I think every person who's played football before, who's got a big following on Twitter or social media, come out and said what an absolutely ridiculous decision it was to disallow that goal. Let's be honest, we all know it was a goal, it was another point drop. But it wasn't just a goal. You obviously had Mikel Antonio getting kicked out by Reece James, studs into the fire. I would arguably say that should be a red card as well. I mean, let's be honest, it's dangerous play. Studs up, he's kicked out obviously. It should be a red card. Got likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who got a yellow card early on. He then dived for simulation, should be a yellow card. And also looked into Antonio twice and then elbowed him in the head. So once again, another Chelsea player that should be sent off. I know they were saying that Antonio should have been sent off, but they were for far less cynical fouls than what was given against us. So you win some, you lose some. The third point is finishing is still an issue for us. Near the dying embers of the game, Cornet come on obviously and hit the post again. We do love hitting the post a lot, but to me it's just an issue. I just find players aren't really hitting the back of the net or just putting good chance, not necessarily creating good chances, but just finishing off the chances. Of course, we scored a goal, but it was a bit scrappy. A goal was a goal at the end of the day. But if you actually look into our expected goals per game, I think most games, bar like Man City, potentially even Brighton, don't quote me on it though, we've had a better XG than our opponent. So down on paper, we should be winning the game if we can just put our chances into the back of the net. So of course, you may say there's a problem with Antonio and Scamacca needs to start, but of course, both players offer us different things. If we want to get up the pitch and really be driven up the pitch by a player, Antonio needs to start. Whereas if we want someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net and be a better finisher, then Scamacca will work for us more. But obviously that heavily relies on our midfield getting us up the pitch. The fourth point is that Cornet, I think, that now deserves a spot in the starting lineup. I think Bowen's time has come to an end, not forever obviously, but just at the moment. We've given him a few games now to find some form, and quite evidently he still hasn't found that. I think each game he does improve slightly. I think parts of the second half, I thought he was back to his best, not back to his best, but back to normal. But that's only parts of the game. We need someone who can be more consistent than that for us. And obviously Cornet come on, he scored. Should have scored twice, but obviously none of them counted in the end. But I think Cornet should definitely be starting on that right wing. Once again, I'll start Bowen Thursday night. Just once again, we just need to keep playing him to find some form. But when it comes down to the Prem, I would now start Cornet. And the last point on my list is Thomas Souček. Now, I think Thomas Souček comes under heavy scrutiny from me as well personally. I think, once again, he's very limited on the ball, but we knew that from the start. That was always going to be an issue with Thomas Souček. He just isn't the best on the ball. But recently, he really has been putting in poor performances. But I think especially the Spurs game in the second half. And I thought Chelsea, I thought he done quite well. Him and Declan Rice started getting back to their best. And they look like a real partnership again. And I'm not saying that he's phenomenal, he's the best player on the pitch, but compared to what he has been playing like, I think the last 2 games especially, Thomas Tuchel has really impressed me. So I don't know what's been said. I don't know if he's been given a kick up the arse or whatever, but he's now started to get back to playing quite well. So I think everyone should just kind of back off him for a little bit, get off his case, and hopefully he starts putting in some decent performances for us. Right guys, so that is the end of my 5 things we've learned of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to make it a regular thing every week or so after our Premier League games. More than likely not after Thursday night, depending if it's a boring game or not. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Cornet.